Hello, my friend. This is an exciting episode because for the first time ever, Business Unicorns and Perform Better are coordinating. We're coming together. Our powers are combining to create something called the Gym Owner Masterclass. This is a workshop created for gym owners by gym owners. Essentially, what you're going to get is you're going to get Mark and Pete and Ben for basically a inside peek at a 30 plus combined years of running Cressy Sports Performance and Mark Fisher Fitness. Not only that, but Ben, our COO here at Business Unicorns, is going to come and share with you what's working right now for all of our gym owners who are Unicorn Society members, what's not working right now. And combined, the three of them during this workshop are going to give you one-on-one coaching to help you get more income, more impact, and more freedom in your life. We have very limited capacity for this collaborative workshop with Perform Better. And early bird seats are as cheap as $149. That's the crazy price for the value of this workshop. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what we're going to share in this workshop. We're going to give you some advanced sneak peeks at some of the content that's coming in this workshop and help you decide whether or not this is the right fit for you. So keep listening to this episode and click the link down below if you want to learn more about the Gym Owner Masterclass we're doing with Perform Better. Enjoy this episode. Hello, fitness business nerds. What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Business Unicorns podcast. I'm here today with Mr. Fisher. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, though my voice is a little sexy.
A little sexy because we're midway through the winter and we got a bunch of snow dumped on us, so everyone's getting sick. But in spite of that, I'm stoked for today.
Yeah, I live with a little.
You live with a little
disease.
germ machine.
I don't think we can blame that on the cold. My vector disease terrorist it's her fault, but I love her.
I was trying to leave her out of it. Sorry, Celestia, but
No.
your dad threw you under the bus.
You, baby. You don't like shame. You chose the wrong daddy. Now eat your shame cakes, you little harlot.
Well, I'm excited because today I think we're going to use this podcast to tell people about a really cool and brand new partnership we're doing with Perform Better, which is for the first time ever, we're partnering with our friends over at Perform Better, and we're doing a gym owner masterclass. Specifically, you and Pete and Ben are heading up to Rhode Island and doing a whole workshop that our listeners can attend. So let's just start with the basics. Like, when and where is this? Like, what's it about? Fill our folks in if they haven't heard about it yet.
I'll have to look at my notes here. Basically it is Friday, April 26th and Saturday, April 27th. We're doing it in Warwick, Rhode Island, which is Perform Better's headquarters. So if you've never been there, it's actually a super cool place. They've got a super tricked out gym, by the way. So not only will hopefully the content of the actual masterclass be valuable to you, but I think if you want to check out some really amazing displays of how a gym could be set up or look at some really awesome equipment. Obviously, no secret there. Perform Better is definitely the leader in the industry for that. And the way we've set it up, it's actually going to be a 10 to 5 on Friday. So if you happen to live somewhat local to the Northeast, in theory, you could just come in that morning. And then on Saturday, we're actually going to do a 9:30 to a 12:30. So that way you can get back out of there if you either need to catch a flight, or if you're local, you can still have, a lot of your weekend with your family. I think the other thing I would mention aside from teaching you business of fitness things, is we're also planning to have a social. So on Friday night, we will get together. The attendees can spend some quality time with myself and Pete and Ben. And I think, as we all know, there's always a lot of value in that sort of more informal networking and talking shop. So very much looking forward to all of it.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it because we've been such big fans of Perform Better for so long. Not only their equipment, but like the conferences they put on are just always so fantastic, bringing together really great thought leaders. And so the fact that we get to partner with them is so cool. Let me say this. We talk a lot on this podcast. We have talked a lot on this podcast in the past about the importance of having mentors, teachers, coaches when you are a gym owner. And Lord knows, every day there are more and more people out in the world offering those kind of services. and we think we do it really well, right? We think we do it really well. And so can you just say a little bit about what makes it so important to seek out people like you and me and Pete and Ben to learn from? Like, why should gym owners even care about an event like this?
Well, I think if you are doing something, you probably should do it good. And I think the best way to learn how to do something well is to spend time and energy on acquiring skills, right? And I think,
Yeah.
no secret, I do think it's a little bit of an unusual skill set that we probably have professionally between running on the one hand Mark Fisher Fitness, which is kind of this very unusual gym, then also Cressy Sports Performance, which in its own way is sort of very
Yeah.
unusual, but also I think kind of setting the standard for sports performance facilities. Then you have Ben, who in the most awesome way runs, I think, a little more of a typical Muggle gym. I also personally own the first of what will be several locations of a small group personal training franchise. So I think there's somebody said for looking for people that are, walking the talk, right? And not only doing it and teaching it, but are still have their hands in the game, right? So they know what's happening right now. Because I think this is one of the challenges of this space. And like, listen, I'm not somebody, by the way, that says like you should never work with somebody that doesn't currently own a gym, because sometimes there's people that are super awesome what they do. They're just not interested in doing that. I think that can perfectly fine. I just know that for me personally, whenever I'm looking for coaching or mentorship broadly, I personally tend to bias towards the person that I know has recent relevant experience in the thing that I want to learn
Hmm.
about, right? That's not, again, no shade to people that are not in that position, but that's certainly the way that I think about it. And as it happens, that's, I think, part of the offering that we have at Business for Unicorns.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that I'll speak on behalf of both of us because we've been in these groups and these experiences together, but we have both had multiple coaches and mentors over the last decade of our partnership. And now that we've been a coach and mentor to now hundreds of others, the thing that is consistent across the board about that coachee mentee experience is, for me at least, I think you'll agree, is that we learn so much faster. We
Yeah.
learn so much faster when we can find people who've walked the walk that we want to walk, who've been down the path we want to go down, who've had the trials and tribulations we're about to experience or are experiencing right now. It really expedites the learning, which expedites the results, and for me, minimizes the stress. And so, can you just talk a little bit about like what are the kinds of things they're likely to learn from this masterclass that's going to help them learn
Mm-hmm.
faster and drive results?
Yeah, so we'll be covering a lot of stuff, but we'll be focused a lot on lead generation because we know it's what you all like.
Hmm.
And it is an important thing to understand. So the day is going to start with me giving a talk on the 5 best lead generation strategies for 2024. So I'll give you a little insight into what is working, not only at our gym, but also the gyms of our coaches and our, growing gaggle of Unicorn Society gym owners. From there, Pete is going to be giving a talk about creating riches in your niches. So again, no secret there. There's probably nobody in the world that's done a better job than Cressy Sports Performance of getting very clear on a specific avatar. And then not only that, but really building a business growth strategy around really owning a particular market. After that, Ben,
Hmm.
the no longer so secret weapon Pickard, is certainly one of the smartest finance system guys we know. And he's going to be giving a talk on the 3 keys to ridiculously profitable gym. So that's one of those topics I got to say in a vacuum. I know is not always sexy to people. So, I'm going to give you your lead ice cream and then make you eat, your vegetables about how to actually make money. And I'll be excited to share that with you. And also just to expose Ben to a lot of you. I know Ben is an ongoing podcast guest. So frequent podcast listeners might know who Ben is, but in practice, not only is he one of the best systems gym owners we know, but we hired him to be the COO for Biz for Unicorn. So clearly we're big fans of that guy. From there, Pete will be doing another talk, this time on how to get more leads specifically with business partnerships. So, business partnerships, I think, are super important skill set that can feel very overwhelming in part because
Hmm.
it's a little bit of a long tail game. There's not always immediate, obvious feedback that you're doing the right thing. So we really want to save you time there and give you very actionable, proven strategies. Certainly, a lot of this is going to be drafting off of what Cressy Sports Performance does and the way they've really annihilated this. So if you're in the if you're in the sports performance space, you really need to be in there and watch this talk. And we'll also be giving you some context for our general playbook for this in the Unicorn Society, which is, I think, pretty applicable to just about anybody. Um, from there, just giving you a little more context what else we're going to do. Ben is going to do a talk on systems. Another thing we hear over and over is people, I want systems, which makes sense because otherwise your life is chaos and you cannot take vacations. I'll also be giving a talk on leadership, on sort of finding, recruiting, and developing a team. And then we're going to actually close out the weekend. I always really want to make sure people have very clear things to do. And I think I hope it's obvious you're going to get a lot of value out of that. But I actually am going to end the weekend with here's 6 very specific things to immediately create more
Hmm.
income, more impact, and more freedom. So we'll be ending strong, giving you some really super actionable things that we know are guaranteed to move the needle, so that if you get overwhelmed and you zone out the first day and a half, you'll know like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to really see a positive
Yeah.
movement in my gym and in my life.
Yeah. Well, I think that's so fantastic. I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of the agenda. I've given it lots of thumbs up. But I think for our listeners, I hope you all hear that you're really covering so many of the most important parts of growing a gym, from getting leads to creating happy customers that you're aligned with and you know how to serve specifically in your niche, to building a team of people who knows how to serve them, to learning how to turn all of that into systems that consistently
Mm-hmm.
make you money with less effort. Right. Like that's the
Yeah.
idea, is that this is the whole damn thing. It's the whole enchilada in a day and a half. With, I think the most important part you put at the end is like clear action. You're going to leave
Mm-hmm.
with very clear next steps to take, as opposed to, we've all had the experience of going to that conference where we take all kinds of scribbly notes for 2 to 5 days at the conference, and then we leave and we're like just overwhelmed by the amount of the tsunami of information we just survived. And so that's not what this is. This is very targeted information, and will help, they'll help you synthesize it at the end of the day and a half to make sure you leave
Mm-hmm.
with a clear game plan. I think that's priceless. That kind of
Yeah.
clarity is so priceless, which leads me to something that I think is kind of shocking about this event, frankly. I said this when we were planning for it, is I was shocked about how cheap this is.
That is dollars.
Can I say that?
It's
Yeah.
dollars.
I was truly shocked. And this is not like a
Dollars.
marketing ploy. This is not a planned bit. Like, I was truly like, wait, we're charging what? The early bird for this, which if you get in before what, March 29th, you get in before March
Uh-huh.
29th, the
Yeah.
early bird price for this is $149.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
spent so much more money on so much less, right? That I was truly shocked when we decided this is what it was going to be. But listen, we're doing it because we want to serve people. We want to meet new people who maybe we can work with long term. There's no secret in that. And we love to be able to do this with Perform Better. So, like, that's why we're doing it. And the fact that it's so cheap is really just a benefit to all of you. I will remind you all that, like, space is this limited. The room is only so big. We do expect
Mm-hmm.
it to sell well. Um, but I'm just kind of, if you don't take it, if you don't do this now, I can promise you we're not going to be offering a price like that anytime soon
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else like this.
Yeah. This is your
This is a
chance.
unique moment. Um,
Yes.
who would you say, one last question as we start to wrap this up, Fisher, who would you say this is perfect for? Like, who is this masterclass designed for?
Yeah, I mean it's very much for gym owners. So I would say this: there is a lot of good information. You might be tempted to sign up, maybe if you plan to open a gym at some point. Maybe some of that could be valuable for you. But this is for gym owners. I have to warn you in advance. I think if you're a personal trainer, you will. I do love you. I don't think you're probably. I think you'll not be maybe the most thrilled in all of it, because we are very
Yeah.
specifically talking to gym owners. The personal trainers love that you listen to our content. I think you'll find a lot of stuff. I just want to be like upfront about that, because I don't want to waste your time and have you get there and be like, oh gosh, I can't really apply a lot of these things. So now, as far as where the gym needs to be, again, we're trying to be pretty broad and inclusive here too. So I think there's going to be some value no matter where you are on your journey. But I think in a perfect world, you would have your own space. I think in a perfect world, you would maybe already have maybe one even part-time employee, I think is a good piece there. And then if you have, I think maybe 30 to 50 clients, I think you'll really be able to get the advantage of all of this. If you're under 30 clients, quite frankly, at that point, the core issue is lead generation, right? It's just sales. Like at that point, we're
Mhm.
probably not needing to worry too much about systems or developing a team, or all that stuff's great. And again, I'd love to have you there. Again, I think if you own a gym, you should feel good. This is going to be good use of your time. And that's also why, to some extent, we've really weighted a lot of the information around generating leads and getting you clients, because that's a thing that there's never a situation where any gym is not wanting more leads or not wanting more clients.
Yeah.
But I would note that
Yeah.
some of the content becomes more relevant once you're a little bit further along in your journey and you have some other people to help you out. So you have a little more time to work on the business and creating systems that you then are able to teach and scale to other people to create a little bit more freedom for yourself becomes a more important part of your work.
That makes sense. Great. So for those of you out there who own a gym, already have somewhere between 30 and 50 clients, maybe even have a part-timer that you're already working with, and you're at that place where you're ready and want to keep growing and scaling your gym, this is the perfect one for you. I'll also add that for those of you who've been listening to this podcast for a while and Unicorn Society is not the right fit for you, but you want to work with us, this is a perfect opportunity to come
Yeah,
dip your toe
totally.
in the water and come spend real face-to-face time for a day and a half, both in the conference room and at a social happy hour with Mark and with Pete and with Ben to see if you even like us in real life. And
Yes.
even if your gym isn't ready for Unicorn Society yet, this will be a great way just to kind of get a sense of whether or not we can be helpful to you in the long run. So the link for this event is down in the show notes. Go click it, do it before March 29th and save a butt ton of money. And I think what is the cheapest version of this Gym Owner Masterclass we will ever offer. If you have any questions, shoot us an email. We're here to answer your questions. DM us on Instagram, email us. We're here to answer them. If there's anything getting in your way of signing up, come talk to us and we'll get it out of your damn way so you can show up in Rhode Island and have a blast. Thanks, Fisher. This is a great episode. I'm glad that we're doing this event. I'm so stoked for it. I'm sad I won't be there, but I'm going to be doing other things. So you all will have a blast with Mark and Pete and Ben. Well, have a good rest of your day, my friends, and hope you all will see our team in Rhode Island. Have a good day.
Bye.